version of a chewy date square that I used to make with my mother as a child. Today, we're actually using cranberries instead, and some unsweetened coconut, which really gives it a nice balance and not too overpowering. We're going to actually add some toasted walnuts as well, which we need to heat up in the fry pan. You're not looking to make these golden. What you're just trying to do is warm them up to just bring out the oils in the walnuts. I like to buy my walnuts in half like this and then chop them myself. I find this actually is a better way to preserve the freshness of the walnuts. So we're just going to pop these in the pan just for a minute or so to warm them up. Not on too high because you don't want to burn them. So we're just going to keep them on fairly low just to warm them up. And this is a very easy cookie to make as well. So this would be a very child-friendly one. So we start off with the egg. Just do a slight whisk, just to break up. Then we're gradually going to add in the brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. Just a little bit at a time. I'm going to give my nuts a little shake here. So after you've incorporated your brown sugar and egg yolk, you're ready to add in the rest of the ingredients except for the sesame seeds. Those we're going to use as an outside coating and gives it a nice little crunch. So we have a little salt, a little powder. We've got some vanilla. We have our unsweetened coconut. Your cranberries. There's a lot of local cranberries actually in Ontario. So those add a beautiful tang and sweetness at the same time. And look to my walnuts now. Ideally, you just let these cool for a couple of seconds before you put them in. If it's not too hot, won't worry. And that's how simple this recipe is. Similar to the gingerbread cookies, we're going to make these in balls. You can freeze them and again be able to pull those out on a moment's notice. We're going to need wet hands again to make this dough come together in small balls, and then we're going to be rolling it in the sesame seeds. I've wet my hands now to start forming the balls. It makes it a lot easier. You might have to run to the tap a couple of times because this one is quite sticky. And you do have to give it a little bit of a squeeze as you're forming the dough. Again, it's important. You should really do all of the balls first because your hands are going to be quite sticky. And you want to have that particular part all done before you do the sesame seeds. Now these are raw sesame seeds that I'm using here. I think I would prefer the look at those to toasted because it actually looks like a little bit of snowflakes on the top. Gives a nice decoration with the beautiful cranberries. It certainly makes it a festive cookie. So again, this makes approximately 2 dozen. Now it's time to roll it in the sesame seeds. You'll have about 22 to 24 balls depending on the size that you make them. And these spread out a little bit once they're baked and have a nice little crackly top on them. They keep well for only about 2 to 3 days. But if you seal them in a nice cookie tin, they'll be fresh for your family and guests. We're ready to put our cranberry coconut chews in the oven now. Again, we've lined our baking sheet with Culinary Parchment paper by Paper Chef. It really is an essential tool in your kitchen during the baking season. Prevents your cookies from burning and as well keeping your pans nice and clean. And especially with baking, it's extremely important to use this paper. It prevents, with the high sugar content, you're assured you're going to have perfect cookies every time. So now we're going to put them in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. And you'll have another wonderful, chewy holiday cookie that your family and friends will adore. My cranberry coconut chews have been cooling for a while now, and we're ready to plate them. As you recall, we had these wonderful chewy gingerbread cookies as well. These are very complementary to each other just because of the form, the sprinkling of the sesame seeds on top. So it really gives a wonderful dynamic between the two types of cookies. On behalf of Paper Chef and myself, happy holidays and bon appetit.